Hi, gorgeous. So, a few weeks ago, I did a video on Daphne Joy and just how she exudes femininity and just this beautiful feminine essence. And the thing is, as a woman, the more feminine you are, the more masculinity you're going to attract to you. So, men were falling heads over heels simply by her beingness. And so I thought this was just such a beautiful example of feminine energy and just kind of like the sensual power it can have. Now, I think it came up to like just over an hour in terms of different things that I noticed. And that was only from watching her earlier videos. That wasn't even from watching her dinner date with DJ Academics. Um, but I always believe in having something in the simplest, sexiest form. I always use the analogy of these big pair of Victoria's Secret wings that I built. They were so big, but the shape, design, original blueprint wasn't right. And when I went on my transformation journey, I couldn't fit the wings because they were so big. I couldn't fit them into my Camry, and so I threw the structure away. But I kept the feathers because I felt like the feathers were so well, not felt like the feathers were really expensive. And when I arrived in Texas, I rebuilt the wings, but this time instead of building it bigger, this time I did it in the simplest, sexiest form. And I apologize, my voice sounds like Kermit the Frog because it is 5:50 in the morning, and I don't know. I feel like I should know because I have a background in health, but like, why is it our voices sound froggy? Like, I've been talking like, bro, I've been streaming for hours and my voice sounds froggy. I don't know. Anyway, so what I did is I came up with the term of goddessing the wings. Okay, this is the simplest, sexiest form. So this is the simplest version with the fullest sex appeal in the world. So this is what I did with these feminine energy tips that I'm about to share with you. And I called it the ultimate perfume list because I believe as women, our bodies are our lingerie, and our energy is our perfume. And when we wear our bodies like lingerie, when we wear our energy like our perfume, as silly as it may sound, but that's when we as women are really walked in a true vibration. Now, I did this specific to me. Everyone should kind of have their own custom bespoke perfume, so to speak. But I just wanted to kind of share with you what I have. So I'm going to read you through my list. I got everything on a one-page sheet, and I'm not going to elaborate it too much just because I already have a longer video and I have a 15-minute window here on YouTube for it. So find the light and expand it. So a lot of these tips came from Daphne Joy. So in every situation, finding the light and then expanding it really helps. Speak gently. Your voice is alive. Speak softly. Speak gently. Um, and everything will magnetize to you. And it's also when you speak gently, it's also easier for men to hear the tone of your voice that way too. They've done research about that. Offer connection through soft eye contact and deep listening. Be lighter and more feminine with your frequency. The more feminine I keep my frequency, the stronger I'll be. The lighter and more sensual the fragrance, the lighter and more sensual I have to make my body to hold it. Always be in receivership mode with compliments, especially for women. This is like the hardest thing. But if someone gives me a compliment, I actually kind of take inventory in terms of how easy it is for me to receive the compliment. To that correlates to how deep I am in my feminine energy. Always hold unto your elegance, um, especially in situations where people using you, putting you down. So whether dealing with a bunch of mean girls, bullying, um, online or offline, racial situations, like always hold on to your elegance. Keep your attention together. That's something that I do while streaming. I can always feel when I'm tired is that like my lace fragments. So when I keep my lace together, see yourself as a new perfume design you're learning. So powerful. Be mystical. Your entire trash drawer doesn't have to be open. Holding your business up doesn't have to know your business. Quietly know your own truth, regardless of what others say about it. Again, a lot of this was taken from Daphne Joy Inside. My voice really is going out. But again, it's quietly know your own truth, regardless of what others say about it. So many people made videos and gossip and stuff about her. But quietly having your own truth. The next one, have boundaries that you're comfortable with. I thought of Daphne Joy again because on her Only Angels, she mainly just has like booty teasers and stuff, and so like she has the #1 pages, and she didn't even show all of her desserts. But that's not something that she announces. Like everyone's putting her down for having an Only Angels. She's showing less than a fraction what everyone else shows. But that also goes into the one above that about quietly knowing your own truth regardless of what others say about it. Um, and then you can still have a high sex drive and be the most feminine. And then you can still have a high sex drive and be the most feminine woman in the world. You don't have to choose. I feel like the world's like, oh, you have to choose one of these two stilettos. No, you don't have to choose. I now this is the ultimate perfume list. So this is for like all situations. So next one is touching your body. Um, when you're with a partner, whenever wherever you touch yourself on your body, then that's where the man visualizes himself touching you. It's a trick that I learned when I was taking my strip expertise certification. Using your senses in the good times and the bad. So this is something that I use, especially in racial situations, using my senses, good times and bad, but also like use it to eat your lunch and just be like, how delicious can I make this meal taste? Cultivate a friendly energy. Again, this is a list for being feminine and all like full spectrum. And so cultivate a friendly energy. I use this when I'm dealing with racial disrespect, with them dealing, or if I'm dealing with like women, because women tend to love to tear other women down. Um, and so if I'm in a situation, like let's say if one couple walks over me and is extra nasty and demeaning to me because, of the color of my skin, what I've trained myself and what I'm working on training myself to do is say perhaps like the next person will be nicer. Or like when I see another couple walk up, like after surviving, because that's the word, after surviving the first couple, if I see another couple walk up, still thinking in my head, like, I'm going to leave the door open for this set of people to be nice, right? Um, which to some it might sound silly, but you do get kind of con like you don't want to get conditioned. You don't want to have this fearful thing. So I leave the door for the same thing. Same thing if a woman's like ripping you apart. Like I'm gonna leave the door open for the next woman to like not rip me apart for wearing a flower in my hair that has gemstones in it. You know what I mean? So same thing. Um, Authenticity. I once had a coach like authenticity is like the highest frequency. People really do feel when you're being authentic. I feel like it's like a ringtone in their heart. So I got authenticities for conversations. Another thing that goes with the conversational part is taking your time, especially with responses. This is something I definitely have to work on. I'm kind of like a waterfall with my words, but taking my time to think, especially with responses. And then also soft redirection, something I also, like many of these other things I got from Daphne. Um, you know, is asking questions like how, what, where, open ended questions like that to kind of redirect the conversation flow if it's Like when I was watching her interviews, I could tell like whenever she wasn't getting comfortable, she would use those kind of responses. And then you can also say like if someone wants to know something and you're not comfortable with that, it's like I can't tell you XYZ, but I can tell you what my preference is. Like I can't tell you this, but I can tell you this, you know. I also went from watching her the benefit of kind of having a silent stare. Just a silent stare can this would be a crazy one, but it can signify something. And then if you're in a safe situation, um, the difference between a submissive no versus a triggered no. Like, um, sometimes because of all the trauma I've been through, I will go a harsh, like, no, no, which is healthy and is good. But I realized it was coming from a triggered space. And depending on who you're with, not every person, even though you're telling them no, not every person like needs that no. It can just be a soft like no. But again, this is when you're safe. When you're not safe, girls, they know as loud as hell. like, um, I thought this beautiful quote from Miss Daphne Joy, and she said, "Sometimes sexuality isn't talking. Sometimes it's the simmer between you." Oh, I love that. And I'll say that again. Sometimes sexuality isn't talking. Sometimes it's a simmer between you. And then I also loved how she said, with my OF, this is a little microscope, a little keyhole into how I am in the bedroom. This is just a microscope to the endless feminine galaxies that are inside of you and ever expanding. And then ultimately being feminine inside and out for you. Again, I got this from Daphne Joy. She's like, you might see this extra feminine like woman, but like, or I forget what she's saying, but she's like, I just do it for me. And I have to admit, doing it for me has completely transformed. Like, I had such this big resistance to, well, I don't want to act this way just to like, because I'm trying to get a man or get a guy. I don't want to believe in having my life based around man. So I always put up walls to this whole like how to be feminine series. And now I'm realizing the beauty is that because we live in such a masculinized world, if I can just be feminine in myself and my body and not like everyone else preaches, oh, well, use your feminine, use your masculine. I don't personally believe in that. I want to be in my feminine 24/7. And so doing this, it allows me, it's kind of like a secret toolkit of like diamonds or like a secret makeup set, you know, covered in sparkles and diamonds that help every woman alive lead a more feminine life. And then I also put at the end, you can be a high value woman and an Aphrodite in the bedroom. So thank you so much for listening. And if you'd like to take it a step further into your secret design as a woman, just see my program underneath your lingerie.